It's missing the point. It's the immediate, quite soon after. I feel like I actually took it down a notch there. It's immediate. It's the immediate aftermath show of the Bears. Somehow, did they? Am I dreaming? Did I dream my entire day? Then did I dream watching that game? And am I dreaming recording this podcast? Is this all a simulation? It's starting to seem like it. It's missing the point. I am DK Sizzle. Some call me Dave Clarke. Some call me beside myself. I'm here with Leah Dolby, formerly. She's now Leah Clarke, my current wife, Steelers fan, oft mentioned on the show. I needed an immediate post-game reaction to that 31-27 win. Chicago Bears over Green Bay Packers in the second game of the wild card round on Saturday night. Currently, it's 9:13 in Los Angeles, but unfortunately, that means it's midnight 13 on the East Coast. So all the boys, for better or for worse, are post 35. So you're not getting them on a post game reaction show. So here I am with my wife. Everybody, meet my wife, Leah. She's been with me through thick and thin on this Bears season. Thankfully, we're fans of teams off conference. I really appreciate you coming on the show because I really just had to sort of emotionally process this. Even if it is a short reaction show or a long show, and by the end we're like doing our last will and testament. From your perspective, I mean, you haven't been on the show before, Leah, but from your perspective, let's talk about this game in isolation, and then maybe we'll go on to talk about the Bears season as a whole. And I don't know, maybe your holistic view of the torture that you've seen your husband go through across the course of the entire Bears fandom you've witnessed. But this game as a whole, let's start at halftime. What do you say? At halftime, the Packers were dominating the Bears. They were up 21-3. The household was despondent. Our little nephew had come here to watch the game. I've
had to try to keep his spirits up.
I had to try to keep his spirits up, but the child inside me was dying. I haven't asked you this question yet. How confident were you, considering you've seen a lot of Bears over the last few years, and then a lot of Bears this season? How confident were you that we could actually come back?
I was pretty confident, and I know better than to say that out loud.
Oh yeah, thank gosh.
Spoiler alert, done that before.
Well, it's not a spoiler. I did mention that you fully jinxed them during the Bengals game, but I will say, yes, thank God for our marriage. They still won. There was a point as we started coming back where I actually wasn't speaking words, which anyone that knows me or anyone that listens to this podcast knows that's pretty rare. But I actually wasn't speaking words. I was sort of mouthing words to you, and you were just like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. We were like sort of in the trenches. But anyway, sorry. Back to the question. How confident were you, and why?
It's Caleb Williams.
Oh my God. Don't do this to me.
Iceman's done it. We've seen it happen enough times this year that I was confident that he could do it again. Now, there were still points of worry. I was confident.
Was it the 18 points? Was it the 18 points of worry?
It wasn't how much you were down. It was I wasn't confident that your defense could stop them. Your defense,
because they couldn't,
looked a shambles.
Yeah, they couldn't at that point.
There was one point when they forced a fumble. The ball was loose. And I think it was Dexter Sr. goes to jump.
He completely missed
and
fumble recovery, yeah.
But propels it out of bounds. Just fall on top of the ball. That has to be a basic drill that you're doing all the time.
Yeah.
This team forces turnovers, forces loose balls. That has to be something you're prepared for.
Yeah.
And in a game like this, you have to be prepared to capitalize on those moments.
Yeah. I mean, that was gearing up to be this sort of storyline of the game, which is really weird, right? Where it was like every game the Bears have won, we get at least one of those turnovers that we had the opportunity to get.
Right.
There was the moment where I think it was like their left tackle caught a pass. They were trying to get Q back at us. He fumbled, and I think that's the Dexter doesn't fall on the play moment, right? I mean, guys, this is very fresh. I have a lot of emotions swimming around my head, so please forgive me if I mess up any of the facts of this game. This is very immediate post match, but there was also a couple of. It was a lot more not recovering fumbles than it was not picking the ball off, right? If the opportunities had been interception opportunities, I feel like we do capitalize on those more.
Or one or two, but I also think an interception's harder than a fumble recovery.
Well, not for
Es-
this Bears team, like statistically.
Especially, but
But it was cold. It
so-
was cold. The fumbles are gonna be what you need to capitalize on in a game like this because it was freezing. There was a little ice storm before the game.
when there was that one on the kickoff,
Yeah.
they didn't recover.
Yeah. So it just seemed when that stuff starts to happen, as you know, like as a Steelers fan, the Steelers have been based for years on turning the ball over, and I mean, I would say
Hugely a defense-based
right,
franchise.
but last season you were more of a turnover, I think, reliant defense. I think you've maybe shored up a little bit, which is a little easier to watch. Like turnovers are great, but when you rely on them, like this Bears team has, like you're waiting every play for like a big moment.
Well, they're exciting.
They are exciting, but
they're
it becomes very stressful when you need them.
Yes.
To
be asking to be needing a turnover is a
because it cannot happen just as easily as it can happen, right? You just need to be a good defense.
You need to be better at your job.
Yeah.
Which is
stopping yards, and like
Stop
they
the
do
run.
get cut up. They do get cut up a lot. We did stuff the run though. Like we came out because what I think, I mean, I hesitate to transfer entirely to the comeback yet because I do want to focus more on like what we failed to do at first and what we consistently failed to do across for the first two quarters a lot of the time, right?
Yeah.
So I think what happened today was what happened a lot of the time, but because it was the playoffs and because it was the Packers, the pressure really mounted on me in like a spiritual way because I really thought I convinced myself, and I guess I was wrong again, but I convinced myself that like we had to start hot for the first time really properly in the Packers matchup and for this season for the most part.
I would suggest you don't need to start hot or cold. Just like, let's go for a lukewarm start.
Just stop being bad.
Let's be within 7 points going into the second half.
Yeah, I mean,
no monumental, historic franchise comebacks necessary.
I mean, we've had 7 of them this year. It's the most in a calendar year of any team ever.
Well, and this was the biggest comeback in franchise history for a playoff game. 18 points.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mean to downplay my team, and I love those guys, but I don't. That's good. That can stay that way. That can stay that way forever. I'm happy to be a front runner because that was tough. That was a really tough one. Halftime was tough. It was pretty existentially devastating. And I immediately started going to the bank for house money, right? Like immediately I started to, because that's what I was doing to myself all week. I was like, if we don't get it done, if we don't make this happen, how am I going to view this season? And that's the attitude of a fan of a team that's been out of the playoffs for 5 years, hasn't won a playoff game in a decade.
Yes, but
plus 15 years.
I would like to point out that at the start of the season, you had no expectations for this team.
Yeah.
You did not want to buy in, did not want to let them get you excited. Despite Ben Johnson, despite Caleb Williams' second season, and being pretty positive about him, despite Colston Loveland, you did not have a high set of expectations.
It's not necessarily that I didn't have a set of expectations. It's that I felt silly watching Hard Knocks last season. And because you know me better than anybody, and you know that like I'll fucking snort a narrative up my nose if presented to me. Like I will roll up $100 bill of metaphors and snort a narrative directly into my brain. Like if it's offered to me, especially if it's about my team, if it's about the Chicago Bears, right? Mm-hmm. You watch other sports. I mean, we're co-fans of a couple of teams, and like, and a lot of times those narratives pay off. The problem is I had to tell myself this off season that this Bears team is different. This franchise is a different kind of franchise that I support to other franchises that I am a fan of, right? And it might just be a franchise that can't get its shit together because year in, year out, it just didn't seem to be the case. And especially when we started consistently having high draft picks for supposedly franchise QBs. I don't think you can really blame me for thinking that after Justin Fields, to just be wary. I never said he's a bust. I never said anything like that. I've been defending Caleb Williams since the jump. But I had to temper expectations for myself because it was just hurting too much.
Talk to me about Justin Fields.
I know. You guys should have kept him because I think he might be in a better situation than New York. Everybody's better when they don't play for the Jets. I'm a better quarterback right now than if I would if I was playing for the Jets. You know, like that's just the fact. How about Harbaugh getting fired, huh?
Yeah,
This
I think Cooper lost that.
Yeah, lose or
Yeah.
lose town. Actually, yeah, lose or lose town. I developed a take today in my head, in my little brainy, that since we're on the show,
Fresh take.
yeah, fresh take, just as a quick as I decided that the best team that John Harbaugh can go to is the New York Giants.
Interesting.
I think that the like crazy running back, the really athletic quarterback, Malik Neighbors when he comes back from his injury. I think that there's roster talent there. I think they're missing I mean, a lot of people are missing a Harbaugh. You know, I mean, as much as he was your rival, like he's a great coach.
Absolutely.
That's why he got 7 calls when he got, and there was only 6 teams with head coaching vacancies.
Playing a Harbaugh team.
No, of course not.
They have so much respect for him.
In time's undefeated, you know, and I think that's what we were sort of saying about both Tomlin and Harbaugh is like time's undefeated. Like eventually, it's the marriage is going to erode. Not ours, of course, but eventually the marriage is going to erode, right? But anyway, back to the point at hand. My team. We'll talk about your team next week. Oh, we have an actually ongoing argument about this next week because when does a week start? So it's next week. It's this game week. Yeah, we've settled on that. This game week will when this game week concludes on Monday, and the Texans play the Steelers. We'll talk about that. You know what? Well, I think we should preview that game at the end of this podcast. That being said, obviously they start to show signs of life. It's 21-6 with 3 minutes and 11 seconds left in the third quarter. The Packers score a touchdown. They go up 27. No, sorry. We score a touchdown and convert the 2 points to make it. I'm messing up. Math is. Eventually, it was 21-16. They missed an extra point at some point, right? No, it was 21-16. They scored. Yeah, that's right. It was 21-16. They scored. I thought it was over at that point in the fourth quarter. They missed the extra point.
Right.
We score. We convert the 2 points to make it 24-27 because they had only scored a touchdown with no extra point. We're within a field goal. Then I'm begging the football gods as Caleb marches down the field. It's on the right side of the 2-minute warning with 1 timeout, and we run the ball to round it out, right? I'm begging the football to round it out across the 2-minute warning. I'm begging the football gods for us to just use every minute. At this point, my dad's here, and he's come to pick up our nephew to drive him home because obviously I'm drinking heavily, and I shouldn't be drinking. I've had some dry January's going great. I just go fucking great. Thanks a lot, Caleb. And I'm just begging them to use the whole clock, right? I'm begging them to use the whole clock because they give the ball. I mean, well, let's not skip ahead. Caleb drives down like with the biggest nut sack I've ever seen to the point where like he maybe needs to see a doctor. He's got a look on his face. I think there's something about he's got a look on his face moment that actually pays off when a quarterback does it. I've only seen it happen a few times. Like in the history of the postseason where a quarterback just goes, nah.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm winning. DJ Moore drops the ball. I love the call to make him the primary on the scoring play after DeAndre Swift makes a great play. A little skinny post, which is not even really a running back route. He runs a little skinny post over to the sidelines. He gets, 15, 20 extra yards? You remember this play?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, holy shit, we're in scoring distance. The clock has stopped. I kind of just... And Ben Johnson, to his credit, I don't know if this is Ben or Caleb or just an agreement between the both of them, but they were like, we're fucking scoring. This is what we're going to do. The clock can go fuck itself. And I was the one being a little bitch about it, I think.
That.
Yeah.
Because you can't start getting cute with the clock.
I mean, he got cute a few times with a few different things, but I have to agree, you can't stop getting cute with the clock. You can't stop
getting cute.
Constantly be cute. Take the clock out for smoothies. Take the clock out for root beer floats. You know, dress up as 1950s. What do they call them? Sock hoppers. You know, just the cutest. Take the clock out on the cutest date you can possibly imagine, and just let it fucking tick down because that defensive stand with how that defense looked for the entirety of the game was horrifying to go through. I want the offense to have the ball, and it's the Chicago Bears. When's that ever happen? So talk me through, like, just from your perspective, what you were seeing at that point from before the Swift play all the way through the DJ Moore play, and like what you were thinking about when we actually just scored and maybe gave him the ball back with too much time.
I mean, my first thought was, that's too much time on the clock.
Yeah, mine too.
And it was.
Because
That's
it was.
the thing. Because they did then take the ball down the field.
We let him a little bit though, right? Like we sort of clock managed on the defensive side pretty well. I wonder if we watch that tomorrow with like no emotional investment, that we see that we put them in an almost impossible scoring situation with like 13 seconds left on the clock. The defense did their job for sure.
Yes. The defense did their job.
What? You sound so reticent to it. You're still very critical because they had a terrible year.
Well, the defense also let them drive down the field.
There was a couple. Yeah.
To the field goal position, and they missed the field goal.
Well, that before, you mean?
Yeah.
I'm talking about the last play.
I know, but I'm saying like overall.
I get it. No, I get it.
I don't think the defense did their job overall.
No, I agree. I think the defense still has to get better. I really enjoyed Caleb postgame being like, I have to get better.
I think that's leadership right there.
I'm not ready to talk about his like whole post-game attitude yet. I want to still talk about this sort of X's and O's of what happened. But on that note, I wonder what your take is on this team overall. Like, this is how the Bears seem to win football games. And at this point,
it's not pretty, but also it is at moments.
It's kind of beautiful though. It might not be pretty, but I think it might be beautiful. It might be. It might be a painting I don't quite understand yet.
Well, Jackson Pollock.
I need someone smarter than you to explain this painting. You know, I need someone that works at the Getty Center to explain me this painting as soon as possible.
Yeah, I don't know. I have really mixed feelings about this team because, like, I obviously watch this team more than any other than my own team. So I have seen every single game this season, last season.
That's 100% true. You are a lovely, committed wife. You're like Agnes Shakespeare. You're really a ride or die for watching the Bears with me. I think I do repay it, even though Aaron Rodgers is your fucking quarterback, which we should probably talk about.
Yeah,
we should expedite this.
Abandoning me on Monday.
I have to go to work. I don't know what to tell you. I scheduled this job just so I didn't have to watch Aaron Rodgers succeed in the playoffs. I do kind of think you guys are going to win against the Texans too. That's the worst part. But we'll talk about that in a second.
I think that your defense has gone worse as the season has progressed. And I love a good defense. I had a lot of fun watching them at the beginning of the season. What is it? I know you guys have suffered a lot of injuries, but like as your players have come back in, they haven't looked the same. I don't know if they're getting brushed back in a little bit.
So, I mean, if to get into the sort of nitty gritty of it, if I was really doing like a thesis statement on what happened to the Bears passing defense over the course of the season, I think that what emerged on the tape is that vertically we're really hard to beat and we make plays on the ball. But if you hit us horizontally, laterally, you can really cut us up. And I think that when there's real flaws in a defense, professional NFL analysts, defensive coordinators, paid tape watchers are going to see that guys like Nashawn Wright and CJ Gardner-Johnson, with being sort of two examples of the same problem, right? Which is there's a reason why Nashawn Wright got cut off the Vikings practice squad. Now, were they wrong about him? Did he make great plays at the start of the season? Yes. But what happened was, like, I don't think they cut him knowing all of his qualities. I think that there's a lot of potential for him to be on the field as a special teams guy and also as a specific third down coverage guy, you know, but there's a lot of cap issues with re-signing him, so whatever. CJ Gardner-Johnson came in at a great time, had worked with Dennis Allen, and they both were he's a veteran. Nashawn Wright's a younger player. What ended up happening, they're both just getting absolutely sliced up and underneath slant routes. Like, they couldn't keep up with guys. And then LaFleur was really exploiting that We made some adjustments. I do think we made some proper adjustments, and Kyler Gordon coming back was good. They spent then an extended time intentionally torturing Kyler Gordon, right?
Yeah, first
So
game back.
yeah,
He
first
wasn't
game back,
getting
and he
any
was.
snap in the
But
first half.
what I thought was really crazy was that like he worked himself back into the game. Like
He did.
I think he was one of the most important defensive contributors tonight, and I think he was played perfectly because he played more and more and more snaps as the game went on. And by the time the most crucial snaps of the season were happening, Kyler Gordon was on the field, making plays on the ball, keeping up with his receiver. He was at the scene of the crime for the last few plays in a good way.
Yeah.
And I think they did a really good job of letting our most talented lateral mover, our best playmaking athlete on defense, who has as the best playmaking defensive team in the NFL statistically, our best playmaking athlete on defense, fucking Spider-Man, not on the field for the majority of the season, and came out, and yeah, he looked a little slow coming back from injury, but there was a couple times where he got beat, but I still saw him like just trying to. It wasn't like he's lost a step type deal. It was like he's trying to work himself back up, but he's not quite at the speed of the game, you know? And I think you noticed that too. And I think he just started to stay with his man by the end of it. And they weren't able to exploit him by the
That
end.
distance
Yeah.
was cut down.
A significant.
Yeah.
And I think that like trying to go at him is a bad idea. And I think that is what kind of messed up the Packers' offensive rhythm because they were cutting us up before that.
Yeah.
They should have stayed away from it. But they went after him and it worked, and then they kept going after him and they weren't able to adjust after.
They worked him into the game.
Yeah, they kind of did. They kind of disrupts that. I mean, that being said, we had some really unfortunate injuries tonight.
Billings.
Yeah, Trapio, Edmonds. I mean, Edwards.
It was Edwards.
Yeah, Edwards. I mean, who's the emotional leader of the team? It looked like a foot ankle like fracture, like the foot went around
Caleb's ankle.
Yeah, but I mean, he's a dog. He's a fucking dog. That's the difference. Like I actually, no joke, when I saw him getting up and limp, I was like, that's gonna make him better. I really thought that. I was like, he's gonna get better. He's gonna be like angry that he's hurt.
Iceman is it is the most accurate nickname I think I've seen for a player since maybe the bus.
It's really hard because like Drake May's nickname is Drake May. Like have you seen this meme? The meme is
Drake. Oh, for a meme?
Yeah, it's okay. I'm more chronically online than you. We accept that. The New York Times didn't publish it. I get that, but his name is Drake May. And to sort of just to quickly explain the joke, because that's what always makes jokes funnier. It's because he's like a pretty straight up and down white guy, which I kind of find funny. Yeah. And he seems like a pretty nice guy. And I've been on the side of like Drake May and the Patriots on the podcast for the year.
I really wish he was more unlikable.
Yeah, he's really likable. I mean, even as a Steelers fan, you really want to hate the Patriots, right? But he's a likable quarterback.
I mean, I can always hate the Patriots.
Dude, how many Patriots fans do I know? And how many do you know by proxy because of me? Because of where I grew up.
Too many.
Yeah. Well, one is too many. But we know a lot. And I'm talking to them.
One's a fan, two's too many.
Yeah. Three's a crowd, and four is a fucking Southie bar. Right, where they're kicking you in the ribs for liking the wrong team. It is. It's like 4 people in the Southie bar, like 2:30 in the afternoon. That's the exact amount of people that are beat the shit out of you in the afternoon. But this is Southie before it got gentrified. Apparently, I don't know. Someone told me that. I don't live there anymore. But what was my point? I've lost it thread completely. Oh yeah. Me and Patriots fans, all my Patriots fans in my life, are talking to each other like we're watching sports in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood right now. We're both just so happy. You know, like I talked to the guys on the show and we're just like all so happy to just be in a great place with our team. Our quarterbacks are doing well. And it's like, hey man, glad you're feeling good, you know, because like the world's tough as well. So I had a lot of emotional support texters tonight. It was really good. A lot of love, a lot of people around. The whole fam was watching because, you know, they know that I've slogged through watching this team through so many shitty games and you've been right there with me. So like, I really appreciate, I want to share this one victory with you, but that's going to be my great transition into Caleb Williams' sort of post-game aura. No, like job's not finished. Job finished. I mean, I don't see
They were trying to ask him in the post-game
leading
interview
question.
about, like, can you take a deep sigh of relief? No,
I like this.
no.
Yeah.
This is just the first game. There's a lot more ahead of.
Also, we gotta be better.
Yeah.
Better.
Yeah.
What did you?
True.
It is, of course, it is. Like can't make it so difficult on ourselves. But I do think you have to remember. I know they lost Micah Parsons, and that immediately made them not in any way. Exactly. And I know this made them immediately not a contender, and like they get a free pass because that's how the media treats the Packers. And also, by the way, I'm not going to call out the refs, but the refs.
Yeah.
They just like to playing the Packers is like you're
There was one
we're
moment
3/4 back at all times. You know what I mean?
Caleb had thrown the ball and it was like a
Colson
second
Loveland,
and then he
yeah.
gets shoved.
There was a couple late bits. Honestly,
Nothing. You touch Mahomes like that.
well,
You touch-
that'll start once he like proves it. But I also think that like for the kind of game that it was, I actually thought it'd be way trippier. It was more of a contest of skill by the end than anything else.
Yeah.
And I also think we sort of beat them by the end. Like I feel like Jordan Love and Caleb Williams both had the opportunity to win the game for their team. And I feel like Caleb Williams had a much harder set of circumstances. And one of the two guys won the game for his team. And I've been sort of banging this drum about Jordan Love. But thank you. But the media, the post game, the narrative was gonna be Jordan Love versus Caleb Williams if Jordan Love won. But when do we start to get to say, there you go?
There's your answer.
Well, Caleb Williams has played Jordan Love 4 times. He's 3-1 against him, and one of those 3 is the third time the Bears and the Packers have ever met in the playoffs in the history of the National Football League, and these are the 2 oldest franchises. 2 of the oldest franchises. So, to me, I think Caleb absolutely was probably heartbroken after the game because no father wants to do that to their son. And I appreciate that the Packers have the built-in excuse that like their starter, Malik Willis, wasn't playing and they had to play backup QB Jordan Love. Like, that sucks. I get that.
Yeah.
If Malik Willis, their obvious starter, was playing, maybe that game's different. You know what I mean? I know that's the narrative of this Bears team. We keep beating backups. Another backup beaten. Jordan Love, another backup beaten. You know, we got to start beating starting QBs out there.
Yeah. That's your true test.
All right, let's do a brief preview of the rest of the weekend. Just since you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fanatic, I know you didn't bring your napkin that you guys usually wave around, but my question to you is, are you playing with house money at this point? I mean, it must be such an interesting perspective to sort of look at the Pittsburgh Steelers and say, I'm stuck in a rut. And there's 2 directions that you can possibly go, right? Consistently getting to the playoffs is like I've said to you often. I mean, I would love that because I've been out of the playoffs for so long. Tonight, faced with the almost certain execution of my team, no, going to the first round of the playoffs is a fucking kick in the nards, dude. And it's just been too long since.
Enough. It feels like a participation trophy. Oh, we made it.
It's a participation and the merit.
Making it.
No, it's really, that's kind of as a winning franchise, it needs to be the bare minimum, you know?
I agree completely.
But I've just been so traumatized over the years by the Bears being so shit that it's just like, all right, well, what can we do?
Well, your franchise is taking steps in a positive direction. Mine has stagnated.
Yeah, but like if you compare the 2 teams, like I was sort of thinking tonight, like even if the Steelers made it around farther, I still don't think they're in a great position because the thing that nags at me all the time is Rodgers, even if is him coming back, him and Tomlin running it back next year, is that honestly good news?
To me, no.
What if they win another round?
The thing is, I don't think.
What if they beat the Texans, though?
I already know it's been put out there that the organization wanted Rodgers to stay.
Yeah, they said that today.
It had kind of been murmured around for a couple of weeks already. Tomlin still has another year left on his contract.
I mean, this is best case scenario for the organization as far as just letting him run that out if it goes badly next year. Yeah.
So,
but you're still in a position to win a playoff game, like every year.
Yeah.
Every year.
I don't feel confident this year.
I would feel more confident this year than you should have last year. And last year, Russell Wilson was quarterback. And honestly, I hate the fucking guy. But he went out there and made like vintage plays and won you the game. And like, yes, it came down to you needed that dude to miss a field goal. And like, I mean, that guy's life probably sucks right now.
Yeah.
Because I doubt Baltimore. This isn't Philly. I doubt Baltimore fans are like not the death threaty kind. Yeah.
Welcoming.
They seem like a death threaty fan base. I don't know, but I haven't looked if they've done any death threats. But I bet.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, honestly, they have death threats.
But you know what? They probably write them in like post-style verse.
No, that could be cool. I mean, we've seen The Wire at least once. We should rewatch that.
We should.
Yeah, that's still after the pit. Yes. Those what a great marriage of shows. Those are sister shows. As much as you hate it,
kind of weirdly.
Yeah, like The Wire and the Pit.
My favorite shows of all time, though.
I know, but doesn't that mean you have a soft spot for Baltimore more than like say the other teams in your division? Like they're your favorite rival. They're your favorite rival. They should be. They should be because of like how they flex.
I mean,
in the 2000s when they had Ray Lewis and Ed Reed, like if your stance is, my position is they had a sick defense and we had a sick defense, and I liked going head to head with them, and then it was sort of always an honorable battle between the two of them. If you say it's the Pats, like it's not really fair to you because nobody was beating them.
Yeah.
You know, the Steelers were the ones that just like poked their head up a couple of times and got slapped down. You know, and like, but nobody was beating them. That was a really, really good Patriots team, as it turns out. You know, so. And you want a couple in there. But Roethlisberger snuck a couple in there. Like, that's all you really needed. During the Tom Brady era, like, give me a break. Like, nobody's, like, it's more than Phillip Rivers did, you know? So, Drew Brees snuck in one. That means Roethlisberger takes or Brees. You know what I mean? Like, those are all really good QBs. You hear us on the show all the time. We lament the QB era. It's fucking back. Because that leads me to my last overall point as I snuck in your Steelers preview pod. Caleb Williams drives down the field with aura, sack, presence. He just looked like he was going to do it, and it wasn't up to anybody else. The team had fallen apart around him at certain points.
He's the reason I believed at halftime that this could be the outcome of the game still.
Too much time on the clock for them.
Yeah.
But his job was to go score.
And he did.
Again. It was so good. It was so good. It was so good. Yeah, I mean, it's really hard for me to sort of process this, so I guess I'll go do it. I was really calmed down by Caleb Williams. He really, like, in his post game, the very first interview, he was very chill, and he was like, "It's gonna be all right, buddy."
Coming off the field, he was just so calm already. Like, he did not have that adrenaline rush of a second-year player who had just
100%. And also, he said something interesting, and forgive me because I'm paraphrasing here, but he said something interesting when he was stuffed into the booth with DJ and Colston and the 10-man Amazon Prime panel.
With people
too cold. Also, it's like you guys can just go on the studio. You don't need to be right next to it's fine. Like, bring him into like a nice warm trailer somewhere. Just produce that better. I feel like for that. But you just slide it in there.
So if anyone from Amazon football coverage is listening, here's your guy.
Work for you.
Fill up your product.
I don't work for you, but you know what? I never thought I'd say this. Fox, call me. The A team for calling Bears games is Tom Brady and what's his name?
Loves Caleb Williams.
What's his name? What's Tom Brady's partner's name? Oh my God, I'm blanking. Kevin Stefanski. No, that's the Browns coach. They just got. There's too many goddamn names to keep track of. Tom Brady broadcast partner. Kevin Burkhardt. Yeah. Oh, thank God. Thanks for the help. Kevin.
I know. those fools' names.
I really need you to be the name person. You are.
Not a name person.
I'm not. We can't both be. We never remember anyone.
Sorry.
Call that guy who has the cure for the disease. It's gonna be here in a minute. What's his name? I don't know. Do you know? No. I don't know either.
That's why there are descriptions of what people do in my phone.
I think we're gonna be a diabolical old couple. We're gonna die so fast. Like, we're gonna get lost in the house somewhere and like just not. It's gonna be bad.
It's okay if the world's going to shit.
That's a good point. But you know what's not like shit? The Chicago fucking Bears won a playoff game for the first time in 15 years, and I'm delighted. I'm delighted. Now I feel like we're officially playing with house money. Yeah, he kept it really calm, and the thing that he said that I really enjoyed was he said, "It's my job to keep the guys calm." And he said, DJ said to me at one point, the second and last play of the game-winning drive, I smiled at everybody, and I didn't really know that I did that, but I really enjoy that it's our job to go and win the game. We know what it means for the city. We know what it means for this fan base. And we know what it means to change the narrative around here. And I really do feel like they bought in. They played yet again all 60 minutes. All the yucks talking about why they play their starters just to lose to Detroit. Well, we play football around here. And honestly, Leah, I'm pretty rah-rah for this Bears team at this point, despite not being all year. And I have to tell you, I think my reservations contributed to the positivity because I didn't want to tip them in the wrong direction. Be a fucking jinx.
Never be a jinx.
Never be a jinx. Just wait and see what happens when it's. I can start talking shit when we start putting some real wins together, and we've done that now. So I'll talk shit accordingly, but like we're not the 2000s Patriots. Yeah. I mean, Caleb Williams is inspiring confidence.
2020 something Patriots to contend with still on that front.
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Well, I don't honestly. If you're a well-run organization, that's what happens.
Don't begrudge them because you're in the NFC.
No, but
You don't see those fools all the time.
I know, I get that, and I understand your frustration, but I also think you're a fan of a team that's always there or thereabouts, and a there or thereabouts team is a well-run team, and it's because everybody in the building thinks that they can win every year, and that's what you have to be, and you never let it fall all the way off. And the Steelers have been doing that. And yeah, the Patriots had more down years than
the floor.
No, I get that. And but the thing is, I think the Patriots are a great example. It's like, are the Steelers a little scared to have a losing season?
Yes, I think
at this point, it's like you've almost got the yips on it.
Yes, I think so.
Because the thing you're sort of built on is that, like, we don't fire coaches. We don't ever have a draft pick in the top 10 because we're too good every year. And I like that culture. And people want to come play there. So you can always operate in the free agency. But the problem is you need to get a franchise quarterback in.
We do desperately.
Otherwise, you're just...
This pulling guys out of, like, semi-retirement or guys that should be retired is not working. It's not sustainable. And it's not anything you can build the culture of the team around. Like, there's a culture in Pittsburgh.
Right.
Of football and winning and what it means to be a captain for the Steelers team.
Right.
And we need the quarterback who's going to come in and lead. Here's the other thing about having Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback. Yeah. He is so quick to turn around and blame someone else.
Yeah.
And I hate that. What you were talking about with
They were pretty... Well, hold on a second. No, they were all pretty weepy with each other after that win. I know it came down to like a missed kick, which isn't like the way you would choose to win. But him and Hayward were like hugging. There was a lot of like veteran, like lovey-dovey stuff going on. And I just feel like they might be able to get the Nobody Believes in Us trophy this year because like they seem to have like a little bit of a thing, much like the Bears. I mean, not in a spectacular of a way, but they do have find a way to win. And they have more find a way to win than they had last year. And when the Steelers in particular have that, you can't count them out. And also, and I'll just say this lastly but not leastly, I have to tell you, there's a lot of bad CJ Stroud in the cold stats. There's a lot of bad CJ Stroud in the cold stats. There's a lot of bad Texans on Monday Night Football stats. The Pittsburgh Steelers, ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to drop a fucking statistic on you. The Pittsburgh Steelers have not lost a home game on Monday Night
Don't you
Football.
dare jinx
No, this is not a jinx.
Okay.
This is a flex. This is a flex. I'm trying to hype you up. I'm speaking directly from you. You can't. And what have we just been talking about? You're a culture of winning. You have a quarterback who is a history. I hate the guy, but he has a history of winning football games. He has a history of making great plays late in games. He only ever won one Super Bowl, is my big knock against him. So far, like, that door hasn't shut. I'm terrified. That Aaron Rodgers will get 2. Because then I need Caleb to get 9. You know, it's I don't want to explain the algorithm to everybody, but I'll just tell you the equation. It's my sense of despair times Aaron Rodgers' Super Bowl times Brett Favre's Super Bowl, which brings it back down to just the same number that Aaron Rodgers will be, whether that's 1 or 2, hopefully 1. Multiplied again by how much I fucking hate Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, and that means, and then also he has to be better than Tom Brady, so he needs to be 2 better than Tom Brady, be 9 better than Aaron Rodgers. That makes sense. So it could happen, is what I'm saying, and I just want to make sure that your position, because I think I gave up tonight. Like, I think I was absolutely devastated in the first half, like existentially destroyed. And then Caleb was like, stop being a pussy, and just won the game of football. And I just want to ride with him forever now, because I just think your defense is really good. You got healthy at the exact right time. And you can't, my point is, you can't be a Pittsburgh Steelers fan and be afraid of the Houston Texans. It's just not, it's not acceptable. You're now in the playoffs and you have to big dick this situation. And I'm going to now tell you, based on that preface, my stat. The Pittsburgh Steelers have not lost a Monday Night Football game at home since 19. Pick a number between 1 and 10.
7.
1971. Since they haven't lost a Monday Night Football game at home since 1971.
That's a decent.
You're playing with house money right now. And I'm feeling extremely magnanimous after watching Caleb Williams look like, honestly, the scariest man in football. I just watched Caleb Williams look like the scariest man in football. He looked like the fucking boogeyman tonight.
He did.
And it was a playoff game, and it was his first ever playoff game, and he's now 1 for 1 in the playoffs. So I'm feeling really generous.
Worried the first half.
Every game, though, 7 games we've come back.
Worried in the first half that this was going to become the narrative because it's his first playoff game.
I want it to become the narrative now because he fucking won it.
Well, it didn't look like it was going to be the case.
For most of the game. For most of the game, and you can say that 7 times, and it's true.
I think this is the most true it's been. 18 points down.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy, folks. That was really something. I'd love to check back in with you after you've watched the Steelers play the Texans. As you and I discussed right before the show, I still advise you to smash the under on that game, everybody. It's a crazy, obvious thing. The Steelers don't have high-scoring games. You want it to be...
Have Chris Boswell.
Yeah, I mean, even he missed an extra point in that Ravens game, didn't he? Or was it a field goal? No, it was an extra point. Yeah, it was an extra point. And then...
he missed a field goal in the Browns game.
Your field's terrible. It kicks... I think it's on purpose. I think you're... Every game at Heinz Field, for sure.
It's Heinz Field. It's always going to be Heinz.
It's this capitalist moniker. I agree. It's snappier. I do appreciate it.
It's hometown.
It's whatever it's called when you're... I mean, I hate for the Bears.
I mean, when I was growing up, there was Three Rivers Stadium.
Oh, right. That sounds like you're going to a bad slot casino.
I mean, there is the Three Rivers Casino. It's the confluence of the Three Rivers.
The confluence of the Three Rivers sounds like a martial arts meditation That sounds really cool. You should call your stadium the Confluence of the Three Rivers. That'd be badass.
We blew that up though.
That's amazing for you.
None of the Chiefs want to play.
You found natural resources, so we did the natural thing. We exploded it. Three Rivers, confluences. Fuck that. Sounds like you're being a communist. Anyway, I think you should be confident against the Texans. I think they're a good team. I would hate to play them, but it's 2 pass rushes against each other. Who's going to apply the most pressure? If it looks like a Steelers game early, as we always talk about,
Yeah.
I hope it's not Aaron Rodgers' fault that you win. That's what I'm always hoping, but I do want you win. Hey, listen, immediate post, Bears, aftermath, reaction. I'm emotional, but I'm exhausted. Watching that, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. It was just a quick sort of one-off, and we'll be back with your regularly scheduled programming when Leah stops agreeing to be on the show. All right. Thank you, Leah, for coming in. The first time on the show for Leah. She did great, everybody. Round of applause for your resident Pittsburgh Steeler. Anyway, bear down.